everyone to Guiding Voices. Today we're excited to spotlight one of our mentors at We Guide Learning Initiative, Dr. Adedeji Disu. Dr. Disu is a geotechnical engineer and researcher with a PhD from South Illinois University, where his work focused on sustainable infrastructure, including geopolymer stabilized soils, soil structure interactions, and liquefaction. With a strong academic foundation in civil and structural engineering and a growing expertise in project management through his MBA training, Dr. Disu brings a rare blend of technical depth and practical leadership insight. His journey reflects excellence, resilience, and a deep commitment, to sustainability and mentorship. And we are honored to learn from his story today. So, Dr. Disu, welcome.
Yeah,
It's good to
it's
have
good to
you
be
here.
here. Well, it's good to be here. Finally.
Finally, I know. I know
Like it's good journey. Yeah.
he's one of our very scarce mentors, and I'm grateful that we're starting with him for 2026. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Right. So I want to ask a few questions.
Sure.
Let's first start by, I think this is my personal question was, first of all, how did you decide after PhD, which is, it's not weird, but it was kind of very immediate. After your PhD, straight up, it felt like you were running your MBA too, like back to back kind of a thing. Please tell me the secret right now first before we go on.
Yeah. Well, for the past 5 to 10 years, like I've had like the vision of having a business, like not just work 9 to 5 and all that, and just go through the like path that most people go through and everything. So I've just had that goal and that passion to be different and to build something for the future and all that. So when I was done with my PhD and all that, it was 5 years, of course. So I was like, let me just take some rest and everything from these long 5 years of my PhD and all that. So, but I felt, okay, don't lose this fire you brought from the PhD. So just use that fire you are bringing from a PhD to just push the MBA. So I applied for the MBA. I got admission to the program, but I was still thinking, should I just pause this thing? But I knew that if I paused it, then I'll just get it. Yeah, so I just had to push myself, and in 12 months, like I was done. About 13 courses in 12 months. Yes.
That's brutal.
Like,
That is I don't know how you do that. But anyways, I can imagine the burnout because you know
it
that
was a lot of burnout, but I just told myself, just do it. Just do it. Get it done. Yes, you days that I feel tired, that I feel, oh God, what did I put myself into? But I kept pushing, and it was done. So and I'm glad that that's done, and I'm over it.
kudos. I put my hands together for that because I can remember that after my PhD, right?
You just said,
You
you know,
know, no, funny enough. Ah, no, that was
no,
I can't stop learning. But you see,
no,
at
no,
that
no,
moment when I
learning
was
was
done,
school, as in school, like in 4 hours
no,
of.
I will still go to school. That one is
uh,
not the problem.
uh,
I'm not. But you see, at that moment when I was done PhD, my head felt like it was.
It was a lot of really
I was supposed to write a
burnout.
professional examination then, and I was writing with a friend. So we planned to study together, and then we read. I think we planned to read like one chapter of the textbook 2 days, and on the third day we would meet. So at some point, I had to tell this my friend that please go on and go on. I don't think I can.
Mm,
I need to rest.
to
At this
rest.
point, I really need to
Exactly.
rest and stuff like that. So I give it to you. Well done, well done. Okay, now so let's go to what some people are kind of interested about. So can you tell me about your early days at Obafemi Awolowo University? So by the way, that's where we met. And
Met.
why civil
Hmm.
in OAU?
Hmm.
Because I know you
Okay.
to be extremely smart, but why civil? That's my
Hmm.
question. Is
So
it a family legacy?
yes, my dad was a civil engineer actually, but he didn't force me to read civil. As a boy, and like I'll go to his, library to just, go to the library, check out the books. Then like on the road, like I'll see, bridges. Yeah, how do they, build these, bridges, down, like in the seabed, you know. I was curious. I was like, wow, like this looks, looks good. That I to, to be, you know, like like part of the people that do. So that was where my my interest for civil and of course, my dad didn't force us. I mean, me and my siblings. So he just pushed us to do the course that we we had passion for. That was where my first zeal and my passion for civil engineering came. But funnily and surprisingly, I wasn't given civil engineering if like I'm not sure you knew back
I
then.
think I'm beginning to kind of remember.
She will phone me. Yes, maybe must have told you or something like that. So, okay, I was given food science and
It's chemical.
technology. Kemi Jegede, exactly, because we were in the same department. I was given that and I was sad. I was like, no, this is not what I wanted. And I told my dad, Daddy, I am not going to Ife, for, food science and tech that if people say, oh, what are you studying in university? I was in food science and tech. It's a good course and all that. You can work in, NAFDAC. You can work as a food micro. I was like, no, like I was clear on what I wanted, but it was a battle to go to IFE and all that for the course that I didn't want. So it was like a back and forth, between me and my dad. But I succumbed. So, like, I went for the course, food science and technology. I went first year, and I was promised that I would change course, in my second year and all that. Okay, so I said okay, and in the first year and all that, we did, same courses now, maths, chemistry, physics, and all that. So I was like, okay, since first year will be still, I mean, same course and all. Then the second year came, there was hassle strike, 11 months. God, I was like, hey. I've entered, like I was sad too. I was like, no, this is not what I want. I'm hooked here now, doing what I didn't, plan for. So, but I didn't give up still. So, very, very, very shockingly, rarely in my third year, which was rare for you to do change of course in third year. In my third year, I did the change of course to civil engineering. I was the only student that got, his course that they wanted. Even my friends in a civil engineering said, Deji, why come to civil that why? Because here is even it's even tougher here. So I mean, what are you doing? Are you okay? But I was clear on what I wanted. And in my first semester in a civil, like I had A's. As if they're like, this guy, like it's not normal. Oh. So that was my journey. It was a journey of clarity. I was clear on what I wanted. It was a journey of being being you know being persistent. So, because I didn't give up. There does, let me continue with the food science and technology, but I didn't give up. Like I kept pushing when there was no hope. There was strike for about 10 months, but I kept on pushing. I didn't give up.
I think there was a ban also. on moving in second year
Yes, very correct.
for our
Very
set.
correct.
There was
Yes,
a
for our
ban.
set.
It's
Yes.
going to
So yes, so yes, very, very important. So there was a ban in the second year. So I was like, okay, just forget it, Deji. I mean, you are stuck here.
okay.
So, but in the third year, I think there was a change of VC or something like that, and they changed the ban, and okay, you can move, and that was I was able to move, change my course, civil engineering. The rest is history, as they say.
Love that. Love that. I remember now. I remember now. Okay, you're in FSC. You're in FSC. I remember.
FSC,
I remember
FSC.
you're in FSC. But what I didn't remember was I didn't even quickly remember that when the move happened because I remember that a lot of people wanted to move in the second year and they said no one should move
You know what, Shimo?
because I knew a lot of people wanted to move to our department and even some were kind of
Yeah,
you know
elect, yes, yeah, yeah.
no
You know, a lot of
no
people want to elect. Yes, I remember.
and they said
That
don't
was,
come don't go
yeah,
to electrical is brutal right now don't go
like
to
very
it.
brutal, yeah, very
So
brutal.
yes, I
Ilori
remember.
and all that,
Oh
those
wow.
courses. Yes, I still remember.
Anyways, oh wow, yeah we are. Good. I wanted to ask, how was your transitioning from masters to PhD? Because you kind of have a kind of a beautifully rare kind of progression. For most people, it's from undergrad and then they go abroad for masters and then PhD. But you did your first and masters in Nigeria before you then came to PhD. See, that is beautifully rare in the sense that that leap to PhD sometimes can, you understand what I mean? From masters
Very
to
tough.
PhD
Yeah,
can be very, how
very
do I
tough.
say it? Yeah, it can be tough, and it can also be very clicky in the sense
Yeah,
that I want to take someone from this university. I want to take someone
university,
exactly from within this country,
Nigeria.
exactly, and stuff like that. But I love the fact that you had both your first and masters in Nigeria before you had that PhD, and then you decided to actually put an MBA on top of it. How was your transition? For somebody,
Okay.
because I'm sure there's somebody listening now, and the person has not gotten a master's admission, has not gotten money,
Hmm.
funding to go and do masters
Hmm.
abroad, and
Hmm.
has opportunity to do masters in Nigeria and can do PhD abroad later in the future. How was that transition?
This is so dear to my heart. Yeah, because it was the journey shaped me. When I was done with BSc, I vowed that I will never do my masters in Nigeria. It was a personal vow. I vowed within my heart that I will not do masters in Nigeria. So all my goal and my aim and my focus was UK. So I applied to, UK schools, Imperial College. I was so determined that I must do my master's in the UK. So I applied UK schools. They will give you admission. Like that is not a problem. All right. So I got admission. Like I was like, oh man, I've got the admission. UK school. Yeah, come and pay money. Pounds, 30,000 pounds. Then I went to meet my dad. I said, Dad, I've gotten admission to UK schools and that I need. My dad, of blessed memory, I mean, God bless him so much. Though it was like a tug of war. Dad said, come, I don't have money to change to pounds to pay for, UK schools for your masters in the UK schools. Go and do your masters in Unilag, that's, University of Lagos. Go and do your masters. Then you can, build from there. Like I said, no, daddy, I'm not doing masters in Nigeria. I'm not doing masters in Nigeria. It's also funny. It's, was a tug of war between me and my dad. I said, daddy, no, I am not doing masters in Nigeria. I want to go to UK, you know, for my masters. So that was like the back and forth. Then the form for the masters in lag came out and got a call from my dad that, oh, that the form is out. Oh, you this boy, go and get the form. Like, like I said, daddy, I am not doing masters in Nigeria. that no, that yeah, they will you take your time, waste your time, they will like I was so bent, hell bent. Then my dad paid for the form. Ah, like God bless him. Like pay for the form. I said, like, okay, I paid for the form. Go and get the form first of all. Okay, first get the form first. Then we can talk. So like so I was like that day got the form, did the exam. Like I was top two in the exam. I should have failed the exam, gone self, so that I'll tell my dad that I failed the exam. There's no way for me to go to uni. Like it was that serious. So, but I just, went for the masters. Okay, okay. So, like, my heart was not there, but I just went for the masters, and I was working full time, doing masters full time too. So, I'll close by 4 p.m., drive down to Unilag for lectures, then come back home like 10 past 10 p.m., and it was like that for 2 years. So, I went for the master, and it was 2 years, and I was done. And I was like, wow. So like I'm done with masters. So I was like, wow. So and I was done. 5 people in my workplace went for masters in lag. If I can do it with work, if you come to work, go for lectures. So and they or two went for their masters, and that was the spring that now made me to come to the US for my PhD. That was the base, was the foundation that okay, he has a master's, and with my research. So, they were like, okay. And that was how I moved from the master's in Nigeria, to the US,
I think this is one of the key points for me for us having this sit down. It's for anyone listening, anyone listening, and you have the opportunity for a master's. If you
Do
don't
it.
have a master's, waiting for an admission abroad, the two
The
years will
time
still
we
pass.
still pass. Exactly.
The 2 years will still pass.
And
If you don't do it, you still grow older. Like the time doesn't wait. Why
exactly.
don't you just get useful with what you have and see how it's going to work? And this God is humorous, very humorous. You know that it could be even because of that vow that you made that you not do masters in Nigeria, that God will be like that boy. You will do masters. You will do that
Like
masters in Nigeria. Are you playing? That masters that
I,
exactly you will
you
do
will
that
do it
masters in
eventually.
Nigeria. And he has used it like to be a catalyst for some other people to make that decision. From your workplace like you described, for them to actually then stay back and do the master. So sometimes we don't know what God is doing, right?
In fact,
We just
yes,
have to kind of just stay put and just stay calm in that stormy situation, obviously. And I know that one of the greatest pressure for you at that time would be that there were many of us that were already leaving the country
all
for masters.
all my mates were
Exactly.
going to
And
the
you would be like,
UK,
oh,
but
I
not
have
to
a
the
first class and I'm not.
I was like, what is this? So, I mean, what is happening? I was like, what is really happening? I like, most
Exactly.
of my mates were going to UK, US, Canada, full funding. I was like, what is happening? But, there was a bigger plan
Yes, there's a bigger plan.
that God had ahead that, which is now clear now.
Do you even know if maybe God was just wanting you to spend more time with your dad?
It's
Maybe if he
true.
had left earlier, you wouldn't be able to see him
It's
because
true.
of that
True.
line before he passed. But he never left
Past.
his post. We thank God for letting you listen, listen to him, for you
Like
listening to him.
because
Because
it was a tug of war. Like I was like, you this boy, go and get the form first. I was like, no, like, I'm not going to get it. But I just thank God that I listened because some people did not like listen too. Like some people too that you'll have told go and do your masters and all that, and they'll be like, well, and they are still in Nigeria now. They are still there.
and you know that
They are still
the farther the gap from the time you finished to want to take a master's, the harder it is. The harder it is. It becomes really hard. It becomes really difficult for you to even start to put yourself back in that process of wanting to do it.
your brain to
Exactly.
to the rigors.
Exactly. It's always hard. So, and that's why I'm saying to anyone listening, if you have the opportunity for masters and you've not gotten funding
Nigeria, I mean, you get, I mean, the fees in Nigeria, you can pay like,
The truth about it is that I really don't know who actually made it a rule that you are only as successful as the degrees you have abroad. I think
so
you
it's
have to
what you know, what
exactly
you build in
experience
yourself.
exactly
You,
that experience.
like, I mean, yes, like it's good to go to, top schools and all that, but it is what, you can deliver, what what you can, sell. That is the main thing.
Yes, what you can bring out of that degree. Right. Thank you very much for that. So how do you then combine now? How do you combine being someone that a senior geotechnical engineer in the industry and teaching? Because I know sometimes you teach
Yes,
in
so
academia.
yeah, so I've loved teaching even back in Ife, like, all the all the tutorials, master, all those things. So like I've always loved teaching back in Ife. And I just got like a part-time role to teach. I was like, okay, I'm fine. Like the pay is not that much, but for the experience really and touch lives and give back from what I've learned and everything in the in the field, like in problems, that you face in the field. If you can bring back that to the classroom, the students to learn from that, like I think it will, go long way to shape how they learn. And not just from the textbooks. Fine, that is a foundation. Is the theory and everything. Okay, this is a foundation, but you need to know how it is done in the field so that you can merge both theory and practice, which makes you a complete engineer.
Right. And that is very important because right now, as we know in teaching, we need to be able to answer the questions in a way that resonates with the student. One of the important questions we need to answer now for students is why am I learning this? And if you're able to bring the field perspective into the conversation, the
Yeah.
students seem more interested in listening to what you have to say and
So,
know that okay, this is important, this is how I'm going to make use of this in this
yeah.
field, and this is why I'm learning it. So I want to say thank you very much
Yeah.
for that. And this one is a very curious question I want to ask. Would you ever move to academia fully? I know there's no plenty money there because you've already said it. Would you at some point move to academic coaching?
I like money actually, and we all we all like money. I think if I if I consider it, if I weigh the the pros and the cons, like I think I may consider it. There are pros and cons on both sides, right? So if I'm in the academia, I'll have more time in the summer. I'll have about 2 months or 3 months in the summer to do business, to do other things, and the joy that comes with shaping lives. I mean, you can't buy it with money. There's a joy that just comes with, I taught this person, and this person is now doing big things on the world stage. There's a joy and a fulfillment that comes with it. And I mean, if I have it, yes, I will.
You just spoke my heart. Everyone is always like, for me to, I didn't want to teach. I didn't want to teach
Yeah.
because the kind of money I'm looking for is not the kind of money I'm looking for is not in teaching. But this God is beautiful. Sometimes it forces our hands, to sit down in
Uh,
some place.
to
And
do
like you
things,
said,
yeah.
that joy. You can't describe it to anybody.
You can't describe
It's
it.
not describable. Like
You,
I have this student in my class is Nigerian in my last semester in my class is Nigerian. It sees the way because first year I love teaching first year. I don't know why. I just love
yeah,
teaching
yeah,
first
yeah.
year. They're just beautifully curious and just there wanting to learn, wanting to know.
Yeah.
They've not been shaped by all kinds of things
Shape,
yet.
all,
So yes, they are just very beautiful. So it's always fun. But again, when you teach first year, you have to bring so much energy to class to keep
yeah,
them
yeah,
excited, to pick and wanting
exactly.
to learn and not bored and bringing examples in. So So when I come to the class, my classes is so funny that on days I teach back to back. I teach three different sections of the same course, but three different sections. So I teach it back to back. So I'm literally running from one class and going downstairs to the next class, and they're waiting for me, and I start teaching again and everything. By the time you're teaching the first class, obviously the first time you catch up that, okay, I should mention this first, this first. So the second time you are kind of good. By the time you're third class, you are kind of like high. You already know what next, the questions to
What
come and
next?
everything. You begin to put it in your conversation. So this particular third class, this Nigerian guy is there, and he had a first degree in Nigeria, but I think it wasn't something he didn't like. So he's doing engineering right now. So he's kind of more mature than a typical first year. And one day he looked at me and he said, "Why do you teach with so much passion and
Passion.
energy and everything? That do they give you extra money if we do well?" A typical Nigerian. So
Typical Nigeria.
I said no, they don't give anything. I'm supposed to be promoted and stuff like that. But I was like, you guys, success is my scorecard. When you win, I win.
Hmm.
I said, do you know how it feels like to be Mark Zuckerberg's professor? Do you know what it feels like? Like you just need to feel on top of the world. Like, I thought that guy. I
I
thought
thought that guy.
I thought that guy. I said, and that's just what makes it very a very joyful situation, and that is why being a teacher is not for. And that's why I would say that you have a heart of a teacher. Being a teacher is
It's a
not.
calling.
It's a
It's a
calling,
calling.
and
It's a
that's what.
calling, Ozzy.
Yeah, that's what is. I know that's what is my new book. My new book that I wrote about teaching.
Oh
Yeah,
wow! Oh
that's
wow! That's
about teaching.
interesting. Oh, wow!
Yeah, that's in my
I'd like
new
to
book.
have it. Like I'll check on
No problem. I'll put it. We'll
online.
put the link in the description of this video. Right there.
Wow.
My new book is to. We talked about the many dimensions of teaching. What people should know what teaching is. Here we talk about what teaching is. Mentorship. Teaching is parenting, lifelong learning, it's creativity.
Okay.
It's ministry. So many things about what teaching is. And don't worry. One day, I know. One day when you retire, you must come and be a professor. But
Of
anyway,
course.
we'll be happy to have you. We'll be happy to have you. So, what would you say is the next thing for Africa when you think about geotechnical engineering? What do you think are the emerging areas, for example, in Africa, for students to begin to pay attention to? Or even anybody, researchers, to begin to pay attention to? Because you've been able to work in two different cities. You've been able to have graduate degrees in two different, one developed, one developing, right? What do you think is the next?
Okay. So, like I'll say, that the world now is moving towards data. Like it's very clear that is the next big thing. Every day we have billions of data you know poured out daily. So like I think that in my field, technical engineering, the next big thing is how, like, how to use data to you know you know you know you know to predict the trends in the next 5, 10 years and all that. So you can be an engineer, yes. You can be civil, you can be whatever field it is, but you know you must add data skills to your profession, so that if in your field you have data, you must be able to make sense of what the figures are saying. Like in my field, we have the load from the piles for the foundation, so the soil like may be different from the soil in the building. So you must be able to pick the data, make sense of it. I think that in the next 5, 10, you must be able to analyze data in your profession. Even the tools are, you must be able to use those tools to make sense of the data you know that is coming out, and even the business are like, okay, like if have your can you can say in the next 5 years, based on the data that I have now, I can what will happen roughly, in the next 5 years. So like I think that's key, you know,
Data. I understand that a lot of, I don't know, maybe there are systems, but one thing I love about the space of data is that you can self-learn, meaning that you can
self-learn
always do it at your pace. So even if
space.
you're doing anything right now and you want to take on data analysis as a skill for the future, I think it's actually very, very good. It's very good for you to understand what it is, how to interpret data, how to
So
translate it into, so many things, dashboards and stuff
that's
like
all.
that. So I think that's a fantastic skill. So my final question is that what has been one guiding principle in your life? I know you've kind of you've been through the many highs and many lows, and here you are still standing, smiling, and doing God's grace. What has been one of the, it can be many, anyways, guiding principles in your life that you want to leave us with today?
Okay, so like I have many actually, so but I'll just say two major ones that I think will help a lot of people. So the first one is, if I have seen have seen further, is by standing on the shoulders of those that have gone ahead of me. Mentorship is very key. You will fly faster if you are on the shoulders of those that have gone ahead of you. You don't be too shy to ask for help. Don't be too shy. Don't be, one man army.
You can't
One
say that.
man army.
You can't say that enough.
Don't be too shy to ask for help. Don't be one man army. You can't do it all alone. Nobody has done anything big and great all alone. Is it Mark? Is it Jeff Bezos? It's all partnership. Nobody has done anything big or great all alone. Ask for help. Network. So that is one thing that I think will help a lot of people. And the second one that is also key is that your work will speak for you. Let me say that again. Your work, you see, don't fall for all those, my work will speak for me. Let me just be good. Your work will not speak for you. You have to noise your work out there.
Oh my God. I don't know. You are just, I thought you had the book club. Oh, but don't worry. Just go on.
Your work is not going to speak for you. Get out there. Go on. Oh my God.
I was on, I was on a 2 hour call with one of my sister yesterday and her husband on this LinkedIn conversation. She's a doctoral student in the UK, and she writes beautifully. She has 3 drafts of 3 literature books. She studied English and everything. She's doing a doctorate program. My sister does not have a LinkedIn page.
What?
Are you playing? Are you playing me? There's humility. Humility does not work. That's how
False humility is false. Like, I mean, what are you covering?
exactly.
I joined LinkedIn in 2009, when they didn't even know link. Like, I just joined LinkedIn, but I didn't post anything. But I noticed that people that didn't know 1/10 of what I know. When is post?
The identity is shouting
you know,
everywhere.
with with all due respect, I was like, but they are out there. Visibility is the new oil now. Huh? Being visible is a new oil. You cannot be doing all those Nigeria thing.
Think I'm
In,
fast.
in, village people, we see village people, okay, village people.
Oh my God.
They are on LinkedIn too. People too are on LinkedIn. you know, hustling their own life too. So you need to come out and see. Like my job I'm doing now, I did not apply for it. It was on LinkedIn. They just saw my posts on LinkedIn. I was like, who is this guy? And they called me directly. Not like, they didn't tell me to apply through any platform. And they called me directly to come for interview.
You know, why are we so aligned? This is a conversation last night that I was having.
My God, my
My
God.
husband was saying, please talk to her. Like, because she's my sister. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You think you're not good enough? I just start where you are. There is progress in, as in, like, in mobility. You can only grow when you, as in, like, you can't stay in one place and say you
So,
want in everything to be perfect. Oh my God. Like, you need to make noise.
and,
Blow
and
your own trumpet.
And every job, try to get and all that, they will check your LinkedIn profile. There's no company that you apply to that will not, go on LinkedIn and type your name and check you out. And once they see and, they type your name, nothing's coming out. They're like, this guy is not serious. No, true. The world has really changed now. The world will change more in the next 5 years, 2 years, 5 years, and all that. And you need to move with the trend. Oh, they say, oh, don't go with the trend. You need to move with the trend.
See, you can't. I don't even know how I don't know how I'm feeling right now because I can't even sit still again. Because this is a conversation we had. This is also a conversation we had during my book launch, on December 12th, and people were asking questions, and we're talking about academic trauma and its effect on typical Africans. Why we get abroad and we think that this thing is not important. I shouldn't write about it. People should not know about it. I suffered from it. Sometimes I'm still,
Yeah,
but I just
it's,
have to remember that that
it's a process.
exactly. I
Yeah,
just need to. I was like, see, when you're healing from trauma, it's a journey on its own, right? You begin to
Johnny.
understand that you're not proud. You are only trying to put yourself out there.
So how
And
the
thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those closing remarks. The first one is mentorship, which we offer at Vegan Learning Initiative and is free for all students and young professionals in Africa. And Dr. Deji is one of our mentors. And the second thing Dr. Julia said is that put yourself out there, write on LinkedIn. I gave her a plan. The lady that I was talking to yesterday, our mentorship session, I gave her a plan. What was the plan? Make a 52-week plan of posting once a week on LinkedIn.
once a week.
Post and get out of there. You don't need to stay
Noise
behind.
yourself. Your work will not, speak for you. Your work will not speak for you.
Oh, that's our quote. We put that quote on our page. Your work will not speak for you.
Speak for
Make your noise.
make
Dr. This is your technical engineer mentor with Guide Learning Initiative. Oh my God, that was amazing. Thank you, Doctor.
yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Disu. It was good to
It's
see
nice
you
to be
after
here.
many years.
Yeah, many
Thank you
years.
for
Nice to
honoring us
see
with
you.
your presence,
Yes.
and I'm happy that we're starting 2026 with this podcast. It can't
Yes,
just
nice.
be the timing can just be more than
More than
perfect.
enough.
As in, like, if I can say that, then I would. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really mean that.
Yeah.
And also, like Dr. Deji is one of our mentors. Like I said, if you want to connect with him, obviously, yes, you can reach from our website, which will also be in the description of this video. Thank you. Do you have any more closing words for us as we end today's podcast?
Well, just don't give up. Whatever it is that you are going for, pursuing, don't give up. Don't give up and don't take no for an answer. Don't give up. Keep pushing. You will get there.
Thank you so much for the time.
Yes.
And this is
Yes.
where we draw the curtains for today's episode. And for more, if you want to catch up for more of our mentors, you can go to our YouTube page where you're going to see different guiding voices session where we work with our other mentors. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Disu.
Yeah.
And
Thank
bye for
you.
now. Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.